NIMC uncovers syndicate selling fake NIN. It appears to have also appeared in the major news. And this is saying the National Identity Management Commission yesterday said it had uncovered a syndicate of individuals posing as employees of the commission and issuing fake NIN to individuals. Estate agent jailed 3 years for 700,000 naira theft, and we'll take 2 more before going into to look at another paper. We have this from the business side of the Punch newspaper this morning. Banks stop collection of deposit processing fees. And the last one here says Nigeria losses $1 trillion annually to non-disbursement of cabotage fund. That's according to stakeholders. All of that headlines are coming from the Punch newspaper this morning. We take a look also at the Nation newspaper and take a couple of headlines to out of the Nation this morning. Rivers crisis deepens as police take over assembly quarters. More here says arrest warrant, court orders Yahaya Bello to appear. Manhunt for abductors of 9 Kogi Varsity students. EFCC urges embassies not to charge visa, orders services in dollar. Nigerian Army pulls out 29 generals. And let's also see more here. US says Nigeria's monetary policy is laudable. And more, still on the front page of the Nation newspaper, NIMC captures 107 million Nigerians in database, partners security agencies to check crimes. Tinubu commissions lithium factory in Nasarawa vies to expand mining sector. It's okay to have bad day, Harry tells students. Tinubu re-emphasizes need for global cooperation against terrorism. Social investment, not wage increases what workers need. And coming from Adebayo, more here says retain incumbent deputy governor or APC leaders urge Ayedatiwa. Nigeria has 400 psychiatrists. That is coming from an expert. 8 Nigerian warships depart for anti-piracy mission in Gulf of Guinea. 8 Nigerian warships depart for anti-piracy mission in Gulf of Guinea. And a little bit of entertainment here on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Celebration unveils look and laugh as 2024 edition team. Alright, that's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. We also go straight to the Cable NG and also take more headlines here on the front page of the Cable NG. Some of the top stories here on the Cable. Fubara Gazette executive order moving Rivers Assembly sitting to Government House. Tinubu receives Egyptian-Pakistan envoys, seeks collaboration to end violent extremism. And we have with 3 naira difference, parallel official forex rates near convergence. Police barricade Rivers Assembly quarters amid demolition rumor. Court restraints. Amal will 25 pro-Wike Assembly members from acting as Rivers lawmakers. APC Fubara statement saying Rivers Assembly doesn't exist is reckless. 9 students confirmed missing after gunmen attacked varsity, says Kogi government. Court refuses to vacate arrest warrant against Yahaya Bello, fails to stop trial. And we have this one, a coward thinks he can run, hide. EFCC posts cryptic message amid Yahaya Bello's disappearance. And of course, we take some couple more. CDS retired military officers should be brought into government for their experience. FIJ, that's FIJ, says we're exploring legal options to get justice for Daniel Ojukwu. Yes, that appears to have also been taken by development, overtaken by events because he's been released from some of the latest headlines. TB Frank to Tinubu ensure there is peace in Rivers. It's critical to Nigeria's economy. We also have INEC stakeholders draft voting rights framework for inmates. We take 2 more. Tinubu to Chinese investors. Nigeria will be Africa's EV battery manufacturing hub. And of course, this last one here is saying over 107.3 million Nigerians have registered for NIN, says NIMC Director General. All right, let's take more headlines here out of the papers this morning to the Vanguard. Let's see what the Vanguard also has. Governor Obaseki explodes. We cannot secure Nigeria from the center anymore. All right, we kidnap, extort, rape male victims, arrested Lagos gays. Why escape from prison inmates are never rearrested? That's according to an investigation here. Setting fire on River State may end this democracy, body judge warns. 10 billion naira Abia Airport Fund. I'm interested in recovering our money, not jailing. And of course, coming from Governor Ote. We kidnap, extort, right? We had that earlier. Lawyer petitions Ariwola over Enugu Court of Appeal complex. Alleged 80.2 billion naira fraud. We don't know where Yahaya Bello is. Lawyer tells court. We also have this one, Lagos Calabar Highway, Umahi's dangerous dimensions. That appears to be a feature in the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a couple more. Booming trade of sex money for marks in Cross River varsities. Why escaped prison inmates? All right, that's according to an investigation. Eyes on INEC as anarchy looms in rivers. And of course, before we leave the paper, we also have some political news. And this is saying why court bad pro-Wike River Speaker, 24 orders from parading as lawmakers. All right, we'll go over to Premium Times before joining Austin Ejim virtually this morning to do the analysis proper with us. Premium Times also captured some headlines for us. It says, I'm still opposed to state police, but coming from Balgudu. All right, we also have this one. Chad declares interim leader Debbie winner of disputed presidential election. Nigerian journalists, activists protest in Abuja, demand release of FIJ's Daniel Ojukwu, obviously not released. And Lassa fever, Nigeria records 857 cases, 156 deaths in 4 months. Press freedom, civic space shrinking in Nigeria under Tinubu. That's according to some pressure groups there. And of course, before we leave the Premium Times, we take 2 more. Judge rejects Yahaya Bello's request to stop corruption trial. Tinubu confers Nigeria's second highest national honor on Awujale. And the last one here says Malabo saga, Italian judiciary demotes prosecutor for partiality. All of that are some of the headlines here on the Premium Times. All right, we have Austin Ejim standing by virtually this morning to do the analysis proper with us in the studios. Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, GBOLABO.
Yes, it's really nice to have you join us. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let me start off with this fake NIN. Of course, these were groups that were actually striving in that business, impersonating staff of the NIN Commission itself, talking about NIMC here. And now, why do you think our people are so gullible that they want to always go through the back door to get things done? Because virtually every Nigerians know the processes of getting an NIN. They know what it takes, that you have to do a number of biometrics, fingerprint, you have to show your face there. But now you have individuals faking it, and obviously, why are we such a gullible individual, especially when it comes to things about our identity, our profile, that can determine a lot of things here?
Yeah, it's a Nigerian factor, and it's unfortunately so that most of the time we like to cut corners, bypass the process, and ensure that we do things our own way. Having said that, I think the government is also partly culpable. What is the need for a counterfeit NIN, for example? Because it takes some cumbersome process to get the authentic one. I want to cast your mind back to the issue of driver's license in Nigeria, for example. Over 70%, according to record, it's not my making. Over 70% of driver's license holder in Nigeria did not go through the biometric process. We suffice to say that they are counterfeits. Why? Because up till now, the government has failed, or deliberately refuse to domesticate the driver's license procedure in terms of issuance and application in Nigeria. You have to necessarily go to some designated places. How about having all of these centers all across the country? Say every local government, for example, or every ward, so that it will be easy and be readily available for people. Of course, I'm not advocating for counterfeiting the NIN, but the point I'm making is that being whom we are as citizens of the country, the government is also contributing to some of these menace that we are passing through, because it's the society creates the criminal in the people. That's just the truth. But if you allow the system to run seamlessly, look at the pain people go through for NIN, for example. Look at the pain people go through for biometric, for example. At the end of the day, when you have something urgent to put in, people might look at it and say, oh, we can easily cut corners for you. And at the end of the day, you get it done so easily. So it's quite sad that there's nothing that cannot be counterfeited in the country. On the part of government, we should decentralize the whole process. For those who genuinely want to obtain the original one, let us make the process less cumbersome and very easy for them. And for those who are counterfeiting it, let's put measures in place to make it extremely difficult, extremely impossible. Putting measures in place to prevent this type of scenario is far better than prosecuting those that are involved. It's even more cost effective. So the government must put its feet on the ground to ensure that one, the right thing is done as a result of government policies and programs, and secondly, that we put measures in place to discourage or even prevent the idea of duplicity and counterfeit.
Should government also pay attention to the kind of caliber of individuals that will occupy such sensitive positions? Because we do know that some of them may have been laid off by the NIMC for them to have been able to doctor what appears to be a real one. Like, what should be the process to have individuals occupy such sensitive positions? And if they are even sent off, how does the government monitor what they do afterwards? Because if you look at the way Nigeria is, obviously the job market is really very stringent and very tight, even for a number of people who have what it takes to get such positions. So how do they check that aspect?
Well, the government can also check by looking at the recruitment process. Our recruitment process is critical. Let's look at the recruitment process. Those that we have trained and retrained, let's look for a way to see if we can retain them on the job. But whether we like it or not, people will also get to a level where they have to go voluntarily, where they have to go willingly as a result of retirement or what have you. So it is not just about keeping them, but the process is that those that are within must connive to sabotage the effort of the government in terms of this idea that is being sold out. So whether you sanitize the system, whether you do it, until you put measures in place in terms of security, in terms of adequate fixtures to ensure that it cannot easily be duplicated. That is what we are talking about. In Sena country, for example, when you take your driver's license to their licensing office, they verify. Internationally, they will verify Nigerian driver's license. How come we are not able to even do common verification in our own setting? So these are issues that we are talking about. We have the Nigerian factor, we have the human factor, we have the government factor. I'm sure this is a mega business within some of these agencies and ministry of government.
Right.
That is what you find. We have people in government, those who work in the local government, for example, those who administer tenement trade, they have multiple receipts. I hope you are aware. They have the receipt that is government owned. They have the one that is going to their private pocket. That is what you find in Nigeria. That is why I've always believed that the civil service in Nigeria was primarily designed to fail. It was designed never to work at all. That is why we are having some of the challenges that we have. Even though you like, go and bring sense to be civil servants in Nigeria, they will compromise the process. After all, when politicians come in, they are the ones that will tell the politician, this is how you can steal from government. This is how you can loot the treasury. So because it takes two to tango. So we must sanitize this public service, the civil service structure in Nigeria. But above it all, let us put system in place. Like I said earlier, it is safer and more cost-effective to deploy technology to arrest some of these things than to start chasing after criminals that at the end of the day, we might even lose the case in court due to technicality or lack of diligent prosecution.
Well, Austin, let's also look at the visit of Prince Harry and Meghan in Nigeria. It appears to be several years after the grandmother of Prince Harry was here. That's Queen Elizabeth II, visited in 1959. What do you think, what would this signal for Nigeria? Because some people would say, well, it should open up what appears to be a space, but we do have that Commonwealth instances of benefits between Nigeria and the European country, except when we eventually had the issue of the Brexit. But now, with what is going on with Harry and, of course, Meghan in Nigeria, will it signal more opportunities because they are just on private visits, not like an official visit from the palace itself?
Yes, it's just like it's more of a private visit than official. We are also trying to pledge solidarity with the Nigerian Armed Forces, especially the soldiers, visiting the wounded soldier, encouraging the government, pledging the support, not government to government now, pledging support to ensure that insecurity is frontally dealt with in the country. It's a welcome development. But as for economic benefit of this visit, I will tell you, except it materializes, I can't really pinpoint, and I don't see anyone coming. What will stand to benefit? Maybe the visit will just be like a morale booster for our soldiers because they visited the defense formation in Kaduna State. They also met with the governor, making promises and what have you. So, as for me, I think it's just about
it's
that.
ceremonial.
We must get to it. Yes, we must get to a level. We must get to a level. I didn't want to initially use that word, but you just pop it out now. We must get to a level where we have to take our destiny in our own hands. For me, look as if we are celebrating Prince Harry's visit to Nigeria. What do we stand to benefit? What's the economic benefit of Prince Harry to Nigeria? Would that put food on the table of the common man? That's the issue. We must learn to do things differently. I'm not condemning the visit. The visit is a welcome development. Of course, whatever that can be done, I know Prince Harry will go back to the UK and report whatever that is on ground and areas of bilateral relation where the government can also lend a helping hand, especially from the monarchical side. But for me, I don't think there's too much to expect from such a visit.
All right, let's go to Abia State and also take some of the developments there in Abia State. 𝐃𝐈𝐒 transferred 10 billion naira airport funds into 32 different accounts coming from OTE. Is this not too early, Austin? Because we do remember that some governors will say, I'm not in office to begin to pursue my predecessor, trying to check the books. I'm here to hit the ground running. But OTE is telling us so many things here, saying that his predecessor looted heavily and now 32 different accounts. Now, it brings us to the topic of should we have just one single term? Because that has been a discussion even among Nigerians that we don't call the elite, the elitists. They are not the elitists. They are even canvassing, like, for instance, in a state like Oyo, I heard quite a number of people who are communal people saying, as a matter of fact. Austin, do we still have you there? All right, Austin appears to be off virtually now. We're hoping that we reconnect with him. And, of course, it's still the Break It On People's Review here on 32 FM 94.9. And, of course, we'll take some more headlines while we reconnect with Austin this morning. All right, let's go over to another paper while we put through with Austin. I will look at the Daily Post this morning. I'll also take a couple of headlines here on the Daily Post. Right here on the Daily Post, we have Rivers Crisis for Barra Gazette orders. Order 001 relocates Assembly sitting to Government House. All right, we have Austin back. Austin, yes, before we had a little bit of each there. I was asking about 𝐃𝐈𝐒 and the allegations coming from the sitting governor, which is Alex Otis, saying that he transferred 10 billion naira airport funds into 32 different accounts. Now, I'm just wondering, isn't that too early? in terms of some of the things Abia people want from Governor Alex Otti, because we've heard instances of governors, ex-governors saying, don't check my books, and some of the new governors saying, I'm not even interested, I want to hit the ground running. But now there's also the question of one single term. And I also heard it from quite a number of people here in your state saying that the second term of the present government isn't quite encouraging. Many were even saying, where are the solar panels installed by the ex-late governor? All of those projects have been abandoned. Now, we're focusing on Abia State. What do we make out of this?
It is not too early to look at the books. Alex Otti will be 1 year in office by May 29. So May 29 is 1 year already. It looks like yesterday, but it's almost 1 year. It's not too early. And we know the antecedents of some of these governors in various states that they left. They practically ruined the states. That's the right word to be used. And if you look at it in terms of what people want, like we have said, go and take the statistics. I think Alex Otti will be one of the few governors in Nigeria that are doing fantastically well in terms of starting on a very good note. Alex Otti is doing well, I can tell you that for free, and a lot of people are happy with him. That does not mean that you don't have to look at the books. You need to look at the books. Those that are culpable should be brought to justice. Because if you want to consider a state that has really suffered backwardness and underdevelopment in Nigeria, it's Abia State, where the previous governor simply just shared the money. The other time a man appeared on the national television and was saying that they are with 𝐃𝐈𝐒 Bello because he was useful, because he was a youth governor, and he does not belong to their camp. That is why we are with them. Let's put that aside. Let's look at the crux of the matter. Did he actually steal from the state? These are issues that we should appear on national television and dissect, not the issue of whether it is Wishont or what. There was a time a former governor was arrested in Nigeria, and the former governor said, no, I'm not the only one. He started mentioning the name of former governor that have stolen, that nobody has done anything about. The question is, did you steal this money? This allegation that is leveled against you, is it true or false? Defend yourself. How I wish a time can come in the country where those that are accused will be the one to prove their case, not the agency or the people that brought in the accusation. So I think Alex Otti is doing well. There's nothing saying that books cannot be checked. If some people have decided to squander the resources of the state, they should be investigated. And if they are found culpable, they should face the wrath of the law. That is the way it should be. So there's no time that is too late or too early to take the right decision or to do what is right.
All right, Rivers crisis for Fubara Gazette Order 001 relocates assembly sitting to government house. Or Austin, I don't know, does the governor have such political powers? And now, won't we say that this is more or less like political jingoism? Because if he's single-handedly saying that he's going to move the sitting to the government house, hasn't that been overtaken by what appears to be the real sense of sitting in the parliament itself?
Don't forget, it's just the Gazette. It was only gazetted. The governor has moved this since November. I hope you have not forgotten. The governor has moved it by this executive order since November. The governor just heightened the process by making sure he's gazetted, just proving to his political opponent that I am in charge. You understand? Okay. There are a lot of illegality going on in Rivers State. When this issue started, I said it is only Fubara and 𝐒𝐿 that can resolve this issue, not even Mr. President. But over time, you have seen that what I said then has actually come to pass. Parties must tread with serious caution, because if care is not taken, the crisis may snowball and it could consume a lot of people. Of course, 𝐒𝐿 has succeeded in bringing the beast in the governor. People look at the governor as a gentleman. He's very dangerous most times for people who really talk.
But Austin, is it possible to leave Rivers State in the hands of a political son and a political father? Wouldn't the state be set on fire? Like we're already saying, 𝐒𝐿 is saying he would not agree. And Fubara is saying I have state authorities to do whatever that I want to do as the state governor. But now some people will say he bit the finger that fed him.
It doesn't matter. A lot of people have bitten the finger that fed them. Somebody will still bite Fubara finger. It's just a matter of time. Very soon, somebody will be biting Obaseki's finger. Wike too did a lot too to bite some people's finger. That is the way it is in Nigerian politics. That is why I find it very strange when I see outgoing governor want to kill themselves to install a successor. Between Father Alia and George Akume of Benue State, it was the day of inauguration of the State House of Assembly that they started crisis. 10 days after inauguration of the governor. That was when they started crisis. So why did you have to labor yourself so much? And don't also forget the antecedent in Rivers State. Anytime Wike is in Abuja, there will always be crisis for the governor of Rivers State. When he was the Minister of State for Education, he almost destabilized Rivers State, wherein a governor, Rotimi Amechi, had to stop by Joseph Umbu, the then Commissioner of Police. The Commissioner of Police said the governor cannot pass, and the governor had to turn back. You know that story that time. Now, right. Wike is in Abuja again. Look at what is happening in Rivers State. Fubara too must tread with caution because there are a lot of illegality. Since the president has intervened, the intervention of the president did not hold water. That seems to be like a political solution. Now that didn't work, maybe they have to go in the matter of law. We read yesterday that the State High Court in Rivers, in Port Harcourt, restrained Amenwule-led faction that they should not parade themselves as both speaker and members of the State House of Assembly. Of course, I will announce to you that that is just an interim order, an ex parte order restraining them. Two things can be done. This lawmaker can decide to go to court, go to that same court to vacate that order because it's an ex parte order, or go to a superior court to set it aside. Then let me conclude by saying that Fubara is trying to use force. At the end of the day, anything can happen. I still find it very difficult, very strange to feel that Fubara, all this while, with all the power he suddenly realizes that he has now, he cannot win this assembly member to himself with all his political power, all his executive power, all his resources. There is a level you get to, force cannot work. You can't continue to use 4-member House of Assembly to run the state. It will get to a level, it might also boomerang. You should be able to win some of these lawmakers to your side. There are still 27 lawmakers loyal to Wike. Who does that? When Aregbesola came into office, he inherited an opposition-dominated State House of Assembly. Before 16 months, almost all of them cross-carpeted. The same thing Oshomole in Edo State. The same thing Olusegun Mimiko of Ondo State. So if Ubara want to really play politics, I believe that by now, some of these lawmakers should have pitched tent with him. You cannot continue to use force because when the law comes to play, at the end of the day, interpretation might differ. And when the court interprets, you have no option. You've demolished the State House of Assembly. Now, there is news that he wanted to demolish where these people are currently sitting again. By the time you demolish all the structure in Rivers State, you can't build something on nothing. That's not the truth. Nobody knew when all of them, including Fubara, belong to Wike political family. That's not the truth. I hear people talk today and say, oh, Ijaw Nation is the turn of the Ijaw, is the turn of the Ijaw. All of these former governors that are poking the ember of violence, that are blowing, that are beating the drum of war, supporting Fubara and say, oh, scatter it, you have the power. The president cannot talk to you. You are executive governor. All of them, when they were leaving office, they didn't consider it necessary to make Ijaw Man the governor of Rivers State. I just wonder, I was just thinking that, is it possible for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to wake up one day and say, I refuse to recognize the National Assembly? What will you say? What will I say? That I refuse to recognize the House of Rep, or I refuse to recognize the Senate, for example. What are we going to say? So these are illegality, but most often time, we always have double standard as far as politics is concerned. What is bad is not also good. That's the truth of the matter. So I still appeal to both Wike and Fubara to resolve this issue amicably. Let them resolve this issue. All these other people that are saying, oh, don't agree, not agree for anybody, continue to fight. It will not help them. Wike has already lost as far as I'm concerned. It's a matter of time. Fubara too will also lose the battle. That's just the truth. He will leave. By the time he's leaving, he will also bring a successor that at the end of the day would disappoint him, because some of these things are a matter of history. Wike supported Obaseki to fight godfatherism. Oshomole fought godfatherism in Edo State. He too wanted to become godfather. Wike joined Obaseki to fight Oshomole. Now Obaseki wants to become a godfather. One thing I've just discovered is that an average Nigerian politician is a potential godfather. All of them want to end up being godfathers. It is only when it does not favor them that they will say, oh, we condemn godfather. In Nigerian politics, you can't still eliminate the godfather factor. That's just the truth. Because some people will need to help some people to get into power. But they should be able to manage their differences. I feel that Wike and Fubara should have been able to manage their differences, because the level it is now, reconciliation is becoming not achievable anymore. It's becoming very elusive.
All right, Austin, let's look at this Yahaya Bello case. It keeps reappearing and reoccurring, and of course, we have it on the headlines almost all the time, in some few months now. Now, court refuses to vacate arrest warrant against Yahaya Bello, fails to stop trial. Now, for Yahaya Bello, EFCC appears to be an interloper here, and he appears to be the one who is the victim. Now, the court is saying that they can't vacate this particular order, and we also saw that the EFCC is issuing a kind of a cryptic message saying that you can't run away from justice for long. Now, how much more do we have an EFCC doing what it needs to do? Because obviously, some people will say that, why is the EFCC behaving like a toothless bulldog? Now, how much more can EFCC be on the waiting game and expecting that Yahaya Bello will show up once and for all? We've seen what the INT'L does, especially with cases that has to do with ex-Nigerian politicians who are found corrupt, and of course some of those proceeds are stashed away in some of those foreign countries, and they are not allowed to go and made to face the book. Now, for EFCC, are they interloper here, like Yahaya Bello looks at them to be?
EFCC is a toothless bulldog now. That is why everybody is doing whatever they like. That's just the truth. We advise EFCC to follow the rule of law before. Somehow along the line, they have been able to do that. And the law is saying now that Yahaya Bello, whatever restraining order that you have, since another has gone to vacate that and a warrant of arrest has been issued, whether it was properly issued or not, go and face your case. So that has given the EFCC an upper hand to be able to arrest him. We are talking about the issue of corruption, endemic corruption. EFCC keep losing corruption cases. What is so difficult in prosecuting these cases? And they dissipate energy in prosecuting other minor cases across the country. I don't know whether we will still get here. Let me just chip in this. The Nigerian National Assembly has passed a law that prescribes capital punishment, which is death penalty, for drug dealers in the country. Oh, a welcome development. It's a welcome development. How about corruption? How about corruption? When are we going to pass law to start cutting off the neck of people that are stealing our money? To start amputating them? When are we going to, something like this is very quick and fast for the National Assembly. So I feel that fundamentally something is very wrong, because I won't be surprised if Yahaya Bello eventually end up in the National Assembly. It's a camp, a retirement home for almost criminals that have destroyed their states. A lot of them, a lot of the former governors, they are in the red chamber today. Those that have one case or the other to answer. So these are the issues. So I'm appealing to the Nigerian National Assembly. It's a welcome development. Drug merchandisation is wrong. It is bad. It fuels crime. It fuels insecurity. Kudos to them by prescribing capital punishment.
This in, Austin.
They should also take a step further by prescribing capital punishment for corruption in the country.
All right. I know in some states there are also capital punishment for kidnapping, especially when the person dies in the custody of the kidnapper. But now the question is, how many governors will sign death penalty? I've seen instances of people sentenced to death and it's changed over to life imprisonment, and sometimes they even get a parole that the media doesn't know that these individuals have been released from custody. Now, if you look at our justice sector, in as much as we would not say the lawyers are that bad, or we don't have a kind of system that checks imbalances, but then who is going to sign a death penalty from what we've seen so far in the country with our experience?
Yes, by history, governors are very reluctant to sign death warrants in Nigeria, except very few of them. There are a lot of people who are on the death row who have been incarcerated. They are just there. They are not signing. The issue is that some of these governors are afraid. They think that by signing the death warrant, that the blood of the person or the people will be on them. So they are afraid for the blood of these people to be on them. These are even condemned criminals. Meanwhile, this same governor, hypocrisy and double standard, they will loot the money that is meant for the welfare, for the good of the people. And as a result, a lot of people will die. They are not afraid that the blood of those ones will be on them. It is the blood of those that the law have said that they should die, that they are afraid of, that should be on them. What an irony. My country, my country. You understand? So you have just opened up another version that, oh, it is not just prescribing death penalty. Governors will not sign. And I've just been able to explain to you the reason why governors are very reluctant in signing death warrant. So these are the way it goes. Kidnapping, banditry too. There should also be capital punishment. Bandits are kidnapping people. They are killing people. Whosoever that commit act of criminality, especially groups that are unknown to law in the country, let the law take its focus. Like I said too, let lawmakers too also pass law that will, at the end of the day, prescribe capital punishment for corruption. You will see that the system will be sanitized, because kidnapping for ransom, for example, is also another form of corruption to a large extent. The issue of drug dealing, for example, is also another form of advanced level of corruption. So let this law continue to roll out, and at the end of the day, so that perhaps it can serve as a deterrent.
All right, we have to pay some bills right about now, and when we do come back, we'll be going into more on the Break It On People's Review. Please do stay with us.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash outs and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira. Betano.ng. The game starts now.
Ẹ̀yin fans mi. It's okay. Ẹ lọ sórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ní 32 FM 949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ ASAP. It's okay.
For the top 10 banging songs across Nigeria,
Top 10 super songs across Africa.
the Top 10 Countdown is your show.
Saturdays 12 to 1 p.m. with 𝐷𝐷𝐾 and King Kenny. When the big names talk, they talk to us. Join GBOLABO Famous Call and her team of panelists on the podium.
By 9 a.m. every Saturday for a deep dive into trending political and social economic issues.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to Break It On People's Review here on 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we've been doing some of the review of the national dailies in Nigeria. We quickly open the phone lines, and of course, we still have Hosni Dime with us doing virtual analysis. The numbers for you to call into the program this morning is 070-55,949 or 080-970-949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is John Olarewaju calling from Mago.
All right, please go ahead, John.
Thank you. On the issue of EFCC, to me, before you see the way EFCC boss, 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿 fight fire, but now we didn't hear anything from him anymore. Even when the court has given him the power to either to summon or to go arrest the 𝐒𝐈𝐕𝐄, nothing has been asked from him anymore. And I'm expecting, because he said if they stop him not to prosecute the 𝐒𝐈𝐕𝐄 or whatever, or investigate, he will resign. I'm waiting for him. If he finally fails to investigate 𝐒𝐈𝐕𝐄 or prosecute or anyone, if he fails to resign, definitely. In fact, I don't know what to say, but I just holding my hand and watching. And number 3 is about Rivers State. To me, you see, these people that are fighting each other, Wike and Fubara, to me, I didn't fight it because of the people. Definitely, I cannot support Wike. Rather, I will support Fubara. They should continue fighting each other, because they did not fight because of the people of Rivers State. They are fighting because of their pocket. Why should I decide any one of them? And the state that Austin pointed to, like Osun and Ekiti and Edo, if their godfather there behaving the way Wike are behaving, if they behave like that, look at the way Wike behave. The godfather that is just similar to it. When we have Baba GBOLABO in Ibadan, we all know what happened to Ladoja. So you see, the Wike, to me, he didn't face what is supposed to be faced. And you are expecting somebody to even vouch for you. You might put that person there as a governor at the expense of Rivers State money, not on base of your money. You cannot spend your money to sponsor anybody. So to me, let them continue their fight. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you so much for that, John Olanrewaju. The numbers are still 070-55,949 or 080-97,949. Do remember we're also live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, GBOLABO. Good morning, Austin. My name is Omotaya. I'm calling from Ghana. Yes, regards the capital punishment for Luther, it's not possible to see a dream that can never come to pass. So you want their husband, the wife, children's daughter to be killed? They will never pass it because it will affect them. It will never come to pass. And concerning death warrant also, it's only Osomole, I believe, he signed it. The two brothers that raped a lady in the city. So he signed the law, and I believe that guys are being executed. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Austin, before we actually went on that break, there was this issue I also wanted to put you on the spot on. And talking about this coastal highway controversy, Minister plans live transmission of reps pro panel hearing. And quite interesting, he's saying that Umahi that is ready to face this particular case because the House of Representatives is saying, all right, let's quickly take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. This is Seven from Oyo.
All right, please go ahead.
About the problem in Rivers State. This governor, EFCC was looking for him. For 9-10 months, he was in the government house. None of these leaders in Rivers State said anything. When Wike was, the governor is the Nigeria of Rivers State. He's not a politician. When he was imposing it on them on Rivers, they did not say anything. Now the crisis is down. They now support one. Ghana should be very, very careful. I'm not a prophet. At the end of the day, there will be state of emergency in Rivers State. He will lose out. That's number one. About number two, about NIN, people taking it. It is Nigerian factor. Government has been saying you should go and do it for the past 10, 12 years. Why now that people are now struggling to do it? The problem we have is international driving license. If you go there within a month, you get it. But people want corner. That's the problem we have in Nigeria. That's why we are not going. Have a nice time. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Austin, we have you back. And I was saying that Umai is saying he's ready to face the pro panel of the House of Representatives. Did you remember that the House is saying they didn't grant any approval for that particular project, talking about the Lagos-Calabar coastal area itself? All right, Austin, let's see if we can pull through with you back. It appears this is dropping. Can you hear me, Austin? Austin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, talking about the Lagos
Yes, I
Calabar
can hear you
Coastal.
loud and clear.
Okay, fantastic. So how do you react to Umahi saying he's ready to face the pro panel and is ready to go on live transmission? The House of Reps said that they didn't give approval for that particular project itself.
Umahi is a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. One of his duties is to be accountable to the people. So he should go and defend. He should go and defend the project. That project is a laudable project.
Okay.
So let him prove beyond reasonable doubt that all proper documentation were obtained, that due process was followed. So that's all. Don't forget, there are some people who may want to benefit from this project.
Among the lawmakers, yeah.
If some people want to stop them, they
Are
can
you talking
come
about
up with
among the lawmakers?
anything can happen.
All right, let's take this
Even
one. Hello.
among the lawmakers.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where you calling us from?
I'm from UI.
All right, please go ahead.
And I'd like to be also actually balance it. But the issue of the fact that some governors were able to capture some of the House members in the past cannot be, they are not similar to this UK matter. If you look at UK, ordinarily, there are some governors in Nigeria that you have had, they are erroneously became governors in this country. Example is this 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐵 of the state. I know a governor too, former governor of Southwest too, like that. Look at the way Ubu to torment Amishi, nothing happened. Now, if any one of those guys ever face no to wicked, their life will not be saved. And these guys, they know. So, and we have money in Abuja now to give. So the problem there is in the hand of Mr. President. The president knows that by the time you leave your political party for another party without division, you vacate your seat. So why is the president cheating wicked to torment university? Just because he's planning for 2027 we need university. So if you are in a different party, people in the university will have gone international to respond the president of this country. That is the bottom line. Let's have the best of today.
All right, thank you so much, Ade, for that. And quickly, let's go over to Facebook. There are a number of comments here on Facebook. We have this one. The current administration will be a year older in the office. Congratulations to them. It is good to look at the books, but the cost of prosecution at times it's on the high side. And of course, that is coming from Okedi and Babatunde. We have Omotai Olurotimi. Onobamiro says, good morning. It's good Alex Oti is making all these allegations at this point because it will make the people aware of what is going on. However, too many governors are very corrupt in Nigeria, so that I hope we might not find out its case, all right, of corrupt hands meeting another corrupt hand in the future. All right, we also have more comment here, but let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
GBOLABO, good morning.
Good morning, okay.
Austin, good morning. First, what would you expect from Umahi? You really tell us he will not come on air. You will always hear those kind of things. Probably when we now get there, we will now see drama. You remember, I think it was the Arise TV person that he responded comically. Why that was trying to evade when he told her he does not understand what she was saying. That was trying to evade those things. So I think that should be thrown aside. And on Rivers State, somebody said something which I think I really, where were all these leaders when this man was being imposed? They kept quiet. I hope they will not set Rivers State on fire. And like somebody said, I am also seeing a state of emergency because Wike is stubbornly, sorry to use this word, stubbornly not accepting. No matter what, if the president would come in and he will still ignore the president's directive, then what would you expect? I hope they will not put Rivers State on fire. Good morning, this is okay.
All right, thank you so much, okay, for that. We go over back to Facebook now. We have this one from Raja Fiza Biola. Raja says, good morning, GBOLABO 𝐻𝐼𝐒𝐿𝐴 appearance in court. Honestly, I don't know why this ex-governor is looking for one way or the other to hide himself. If he knows he did nothing wrong, why not surrender himself for investigation? All right, we'll take this call. And of course, hello, good morning.
Hello, BFC. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Austin. My name is Bengamari, calling from Abata.
All right, please go.
On the river, I want to ask Austin a question. Looking at what's going on there, in case we don't want a state of emergency to have them in the state. What do you think the role of Mr. President should be to forestall a normalcy in that part of the state? Now, and lastly, which party do you think we can a PDP man or an APC loyalist? I don't know. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Benga Mario, for that. We'll take this one, and of course, Austin, you may have to react to that as quickly as possible. We have this from Raji Hafiz. Abiola Raja says, on Fubara, located the Rivers State House of Assembly to Rivers State Government House is no solution to the Rivers State political crisis. All right, Austin, very quickly, our time is fast spent. What would you say to what our last caller asked? Benga Mario here. Do we still have Austin?
Well, I didn't really follow part of the
questions.
His comment. What a lot of people wanted is that since Wike is an appointee of the president should simply command him, maybe not to go to Rivers State again. They've forgotten that the president himself is a godfather.
All right.
From 1999 to date, how many lawmakers have cross-carpeted and have lost their seats? Some people cross-carpeted in Abia State House of Assembly. Now, have they lost their seats?
All right, Austin.
It is only when it does not favor a party that they talk about this losing their seats.
All right. Austin, we have to just let you go. Thank you so much for doing this with us this morning. To all our callers and those who also send in messages, we say a big thank you. Those are rhetorical questions here, but we have to go. My name is GBOLABO, famous school, and Baba Fendo is up next. Please do stay with us.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
The views and opinions expressed in this program